Hello, everyone. It is Amanda, and I have a guest today, Xylie.
Hi.
We have. I'm sure most of you guys know that her and I kind of help with her channel and moderating, and we've kind of had a back and forth for a little while. And we both have wanted to do some kind of collaborative issue, but we couldn't think of anything. And there's this topic of bandwagoning that I have been toying with trying to make a video, and I've tried here and there, and it did not go well. I wasn't able to get my thoughts across perfectly, and I asked Xylie if she would be comfortable having a conversation about bandwagoning and what we see as creators and what we deal with as creators in this sense.
Oh, yeah.
Xylie's channel is linked below, so if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. I will go ahead and warn you guys, when I tend to talk with somebody, I may curse a little bit more. I know Xylie curses.
Especially with me.
So if you're going to be offended by some curse words, just be aware that that may happen during the stream. But I'm hoping it can be a pretty productive conversation, and I'm going to be kind of watching the chat and answering any questions or any things that you guys have as well. So I guess we should start off. Xylie, what is a bandwagon to you? What would you consider a bandwagon?
Blindly. Okay, this is to me a bandwagon. Blindly following the opinion of mob rule. As in, you see it a lot in certain sections of YouTube that, like, say a creator, I believe this, and this, and this about this creator. And then all of a sudden, all their stands are like, I agree. And they have no reason why they agree. Honestly. To me, that's a bandwagon. You're just jumping on a bandwagon. You're just, you're not researching things on your own. You're not, you're just, I don't know, doing it look cool, I guess.
Yeah, my interpretation of the bandwagon, and for me, I'm taking a more generalized sense initially, because when I first tried to talk about this, bandwagons happen when you're in school. Mm-hmm. People, that's how cliques, in my opinion, are started. And for me, the translation to YouTube is when, like you said, people aren't really doing their research. They're not really aware, but they see that it's a hot topic issue and that people are really wanting to know everyone's opinion, and they're just jumping the gun and getting on their platform, no matter what size. This happens on really big channels and smaller channels. They just hop on and they pretty much are regurgitating what they've heard from all the other channels, rather than gathering their own consensus and knowing exactly what's going on. And this is happening, I don't know if it's because people are home more and have been home more this last year, but I feel like this last year, people have bandwagoned on really serious topics at times. And at points, they're almost misinforming their audience and damaging topics because they aren't doing the back end work.
That's where the problem lies. Now, have I jumped on a subject because it was a hot subject? Yes, I'm a YouTuber. I absolutely have. But I do my research, and I love to find something. And what I really look for is something that somebody didn't cover. That's way smart. My audience is more informed on the subject, and I'm not just regurgitating what a larger, because this happens a lot with larger creators and smaller creators. And smaller creators see that the larger creators are getting all the hype for doing these stories and stuff like that. Let me jump on that too. But all they do, like you said, all they do is regurgitate what the larger creators said and don't really do the research themselves. I'm sorry. I'm always looking for an angle that someone didn't cover. That's what I'm always looking for.
That's really clever. And what I do want to say, like, while we're talking about this, is, to me, there's a difference between integrating your own opinion and clearly having your own research being done, and it having a coinciding aspect to another channel. Like, people, if you think the same, if you have the same thought process and you have similar morals and ethics, you're likely to maybe come to the same conclusion. Right. But it's about your delivery. It's about how you're talking about it that makes the distinction that it is your own thought and not public opinion thought. And I also want to say, fair warning and disclaimer, I'm not trying, if we talk about anything specifically, which I don't think we plan on it, but if it goes down that road, please don't take it as either one of us are trying to gatekeep a particular topic or anything like that, because gatekeeping is totally different, in my opinion, than a bandwagon. But people will mask bandwagoning as people saying, if someone is critical of another creator for regurgitating similar information, not having their own thought around it, people will claim that they're being a gatekeeper.
Right.
And there's a difference there. If you can provide that they're just regurgitating and not really bringing anything to the topic, you can criticize them and it not be a gatekeeping issue.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's like, oh my God, what story was it? It was like Jake, sorry. Like my Jake Paul story I did, I think it was last week, where I connected him owning Triller being backed up by him and these billionaires, and how he kind of slides out of controversy that he's in, and 1 + 1 = 2, and that's money.
Right.
You know, but the thing is, like Tipster, for example, he did a story on the lawsuit with Logan Paul, but he didn't go that angle. His story was still good, don't get me wrong, and his story was fine, but he didn't go that angle. The person that brought it to me found that angle, and I was like, oh, that's a really good angle, and I'm going to use it. Thank goodness for good friends who know how to research, because I would have never found it, to be honest. So,
and people are going to come at things similarly. And I think there is a way to be able to distinct if somebody's jumping on a bandwagon, if it's content they've never really done before, which if you're trying to branch out, like, feel free. Sometimes you have to feel around a little bit to see what people will like. Hell, I did it with my channel. I didn't plan on being a commentary channel. It just kind of happened. And that's part of growing. But when you see channels who have a particular niche that they clearly are in and they're clearly doing well in, and then they cover something very off the wall, and you then see that all of these other creators have covered it, and then maybe their channels are gaining some traction because of it, and that's when that creator covers it, that's what to me speaks to being a bandwagon. Like, they're hopping on the bandwagon in hopes of getting traction to their channel.
Yes. And it's also about the delivery.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, if you're a professional with it, and you know, I have this post here and I have this Reddit post here, and hey, let me show you a clip from a video here at this time stamp, blah, blah, blah. All right. There's a difference between that and then being petty.
Yeah.
And
I agree.
Come on now. Here's my thing. Anybody can cover anything. For example, I had that series about that one particular person, and my fear was I didn't want people to put me in the niche of just being a channel to hate on that person. So I tried to cover everything. Like last night, I covered the Elf Cosmetics trying to go into Twitch, you know, and brought a different perspective, because people were like, the beauty people, they were seeing Elf not doing inclusion, but I'm also like, listen here, you know, we have a black woman who started this makeup brand that was started for gamers, and Elf is stomping all over her and trying to act like they were the first when they weren't, you know, and I'm trying to, and like a lot of people walked away from that going, I didn't even know about that part. Oh my God.
I didn't either until you mentioned it in the previous stream. And then I went and I looked for it. And that happens, bandwagoning, that really is an example of bandwagoning. It even happens in businesses. It happens in all aspects of life.
Absolutely, it does.
And it's just a part of living. It's a part of being people. But to me, it makes people who are actually engaging in the bandwagoning, it takes away from their credibility to me. Like me personally, if someone's just going to hop on a bandwagon, especially in the creative space like YouTube, I do kind of lose respect and feel that their credibility is kind of less than now, because if I can see that, and not everybody can, and that's fine. But if I can see it, I'm going to pull away from whoever or whatever it is that's engaging in that.
Right. Well, and here's the thing. Sometimes do I chase stories? Yeah, because I find it interesting and everybody's doing it. But then there's some stories that everybody's doing. I'm like, I don't care. I don't care enough to do an hour and a half, 2-hour live stream. But no. What's the point?
But I think that that's what makes each creator who, it kind of like you and I, you cover different topics than I, but when we do our live streams, they are very similar in how we engage with our audiences and have the conversations with our audiences, but we're nowhere covering the same exact stuff. And even when we do cover similar topics, you always have a totally like different stance on it than I do. Our overall opinion most of the time does seem to be pretty similar.
Well, we go about it a different way. Yeah,
exactly. We come to our own content with our own spice, our own originality, so to speak. We do have a question, and I have been holding in the chat to read it.
Okay.
The Dark Magician asks, do you think bandwagons form out of fear? Specifically, people may have a different opinion from the majority, but they jump on because they don't want to be targeted. What's your take?
Yes. Sometimes, yes. I've actually seen it. I've actually
I think we all have
100% seen it. I've seen it with everyday life, obviously, especially in school. You don't want to get, you don't want to get bullied or, whatever. But as far as like YouTube, and I don't know, I just focus on YouTube because we're on YouTube right now.
I think
I've seen creators do it. I've actually seen, and I'm not naming any names. I refuse. I'm not naming any names, people. But I have seen creators who knew the truth about a situation, but because the bandwagon was on for the other creator, didn't speak out and just went with the flow of what everybody else was saying. And it was bad. And I'm like, we have proof. You do realize people clip that from your live.
So I don't even know what you're hinting at, but it happens all the time. And that's why. Because it does happen all the time. And personally, yes, I would agree and say it does happen more than I would like to admit. And I will say personally, I have shied away from talking about particular things because I couldn't get my delivery across. And I have shied away from talking about a couple of things that people have asked me to cover because, quite frankly, I don't deal with the BS and drama. I really don't like engaging in that. I'm not that kind of individual. And I know if I were to speak out, it's not that I'm afraid or I don't want people to leave my channel because it's YouTube. People are going to leave anyways when you say something that they don't agree with. It's just dealing with the drama that comes after me saying an opinion that really isn't going to change anything. It's just me getting on my channel to give my opinion. Now, if it's something that is huge and I have a very adverse opinion than most people, I'm not afraid to get on my platform and voice that. But that comes down to a personal and an ethical decision that creators have to make.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely. I don't know. I think bandwagons are
they're dangerous in my opinion.
Well, they can again, I think it boils down to how you deliver it. Because I have to admit, I've jumped on some bandwagons about certain stories going, oh, this is a hot topic right now, especially when I first started. Oh, this is a hot topic right now. Let me jump on this. Let me jump on this. But I still, in delivery, I tried to find an angle that I either didn't hear many people say or an angle that nobody else was talking about. I try to add to the story, Yeah,
but to me, that's not necessarily, I don't know. I guess this is where like I argue with the term bandwagon, because to me, that's almost not even jumping on a bandwagon.
You're talking about like the same views and stuff like
that. Yeah, like as not doing this person's research.
Gotcha.
Just like watching, for example, like 4 or 5 different creators talk about something that's a hot topic issue. And then rather than doing your own research or coming from your own angle, just collectively taking what they say, see what the public opinion wants, and then regurgitating that.
Oh, yes.
That to me is a bandwagon.
No, that's very dangerous. That's very dangerous because at that point you're starting to develop an echo chamber, and echo chambers are horrible.
I agree. I've made content about echo chambers and stuff like that.
Yeah, no.
So I guess like that goes to show that we have a little bit different perspectives of bandwagoning.
Yeah.
Which is fine. I mean, and that's the reality of it, is everybody has different perceptions of all of these terms. And that's why in the past month or two, I've kind of done some videos talking about terminology that is just tossed and used in a negative and toxic manner, when it's like, dude, like this is the actual definition and we're using it like just, you know, throwing it out there because it's a attention getting word. It's something that's going to get people's attention. Like when you say, I'm being attacked. Okay, if you get one nasty message, you're not being attacked. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah.
But people will utilize that and show maybe the one message and say that this is, it could it be attacking in nature and like threatening in nature? Absolutely. But it's not, you're not getting threatened because you get one nasty message.
Right. However, when you get dogpiled, though,
right? We were talking about this before the stream. Is
I love
people
it when
don't
they
know
try
the
to dogpile
difference.
me. I love it when people try to dogpile me, because here's my thing: I will sit there and literally watch these people try to retweet my stuff, and I'm thinking to myself, I don't fight with D Squad. I'm just saying, I'm not fighting with D Squad. I'm not fighting with the stands. I'm not fighting with them. Now, if the creator wants to say something to me, no problem. We can talk. We can have the, you know, but don't send your people to dogpile on someone. That is such, that's such a punk move. I just hate it. I hate a dogpile.
I do want to address the fact, though, with dogpiling. Yes, it happens, and I think it's a crappy aspect of being a creator. And in honesty, it's one of those things that when you decide to become a creator, you have to be ready for. Otherwise, I think you need to second guess your decision to put yourself on a platform. But at times, I think dog piles happen and the creators sometimes don't know. I do believe sometimes, rarely, they don't know what's happening. And then what I find issue with dog piling is when the creators know and they don't address it and they act like it's not happening. Yep. And then they try to say that they didn't know when clearly you do. If you have a platform, you know. And that's when I have issues with dogpiling. I mean, altogether, the aspect is shit, but when I can join all of those issues where the creator is just trying to deflect, taking accountability and self-awareness, that's when I'm like, again, I lose interest in that creator. I believe their credibility is shot at that point, because don't try to play ignorant here.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And especially, and I'm sorry, I get a little heated because it's still, you know, still kind of new, especially when they are creators that have blocked me, don't follow me, and then all of a sudden you're quote tweeting me over something that I literally said wasn't about you. I literally said it wasn't about you. I'm sorry. And you think just because you have your fans like dogpiling, that's going to make me say who it was? No, I'll die on that secret. I'll never say who that was about now. Ever.
You're stubborn. Aren't you stubborn? Because
I'm very stubborn.
That's kind of my personality as well. When somebody like tries to force me to say something and I don't want to, if I have a valid reason not to be talking about it, and you try to force me to or coerce me to, oh no, I'm not going to say a darn thing because I'm stuck. Are you a Taurus? I think we've had this conversation.
No, I'm a Capricorn.
Oh, okay. I'm so stubborn.
Oh, my stubbornness is crazy. Like I the joke among some of my friends is I have too many hills that I will die on. And that's one thing right there. Listen, I literally got dogpiled on Twitter. I'm laughing the whole time. I didn't even get mad throughout this whole thing. Okay. I didn't even get mad throughout this whole thing. But do y'all really think like 20 quote tweets, and instead of talking to me directly and you're quote tweeting me to get your fans all riled up, do you really think that's going to make me say who it was? You say you've seen my content, but you obviously haven't. I'm just saying, because I will die with that secret.
I think a lot of what happens when it comes to situations like that, when you're dealing with larger creators, talking with smaller creators, they see all of these other smaller channels. And I'm not trying to be offensive, but some smaller creators have really thin skin. And I don't necessarily think that they're all prepared to actually be a content creator. And so when they start to get pushback and they start to get some hate, because we all get it.
Yeah.
We all freaking get it. You can have 5 subscribers and get hate.
Oh, absolutely.
And if you don't know how to deal with it and you haven't prepared yourself for that, becomes the issue when you are kind of pandering to your audience, like, oh, feel bad for me, or oh, this shit is happening, or oh, this other shit is happening. And that's not to discredit that serious stuff doesn't happen to smaller creators. That is serious and should be called out. But it's when the little things like that start to pile up, I think larger creators kind of try to be shady in how they talk to us.
Oh, absolutely.
Because they're afraid that they're going to be accused of doing something because somebody's skin is not thick enough.
I look at those larger creators no different than I look at myself, no different than I look at you. I don't care if you have 5 million subscribers or 5 subscribers. If you conduct yourself a certain way, I'm going to talk about it. And I don't care. You can come into my chat while I'm in the middle of talking about you. I don't care, because I'm going to say the same thing to you in the chat. I don't care. I don't care. And then you have this issue where, well, small commentators, they're just always trying to clout chase. Well, didn't you try to clout chase at one point then? Because at one point you were a small creator. You bleed just like I do. You are a human being just like I do. I am not going to sit there and drop to my knees and kiss your feet just because you have 100,000 subscribers, 1 million subscribers.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, Ann?
I think people realized in the past couple of months that I'm very similar, because it's happened in my actual chat where a larger creator, and I was talking about a situation with them and they were in my thumbnail and everything. And people were really like praising me for maintaining my level of professionalism and not feeding into it. And I'm like, when I sit here and tell you guys what you see is what you get, and you know what I'm saying is how I actually feel, I mean it. Like I'm very genuine when it comes to that. I'm not going to treat anybody poorly. I really do believe, like, being negative, sending hateful stuff, being shady, it really gets you nowhere. And if you're wanting to build a healthy platform, like, honesty and transparency is the best policy, in my opinion. Now, of course, I think people get those words, transparency, genuineness, and stuff like that, confused when creators don't tell you absolutely every little detail about their life. Right. We have to maintain some kind of privacy and security. And it's all about how the creator goes about putting in place those boundaries that people don't even necessarily know that you have in place, but you hold yourself to those behind the scenes and stuff like that to make sure that you're safe. And people feel when creators are actively engaging in that stuff that maybe they're not being transparent anymore, or maybe they're not being genuine anymore.
Right. I have seen I think it's hilarious. I've seen some creators that change with certain milestones. I've seen a creator that literally got worse once they hit 100,000, and he wasn't the same creator that when I started watching and really getting into it, he wasn't the same creator that he was before. And it's like, dude, what happened to you? I've seen people change as soon as they got monetized. As soon as they got monetized, totally different person. And just want that money. It's ridiculous, dude.
I think we see that a lot. We really do. And recently I've talked about it over the past couple of months as I've kind of toyed. I'll just talk about it. So there's Smoky Glow, Hannah. I loved her channel and her content for a very, very long time. And then once she started her master's program, she kind of became a little bit preachy. And keep in mind, for those of you who don't know or who don't know me, I have a bachelor's in social work. So a very similar degree to hers. She was going through the graduate program of that. When she started her graduate program, I saw some of her content. She was trying to translate her degree into her content, which I thought was wonderful, but she started to come off a little bit pushy with it. And I really took back, and I was like, man, what is going, I couldn't even pinpoint it for a while. That was where my dissonance with her was. And recently I've gone back to watching her channel and her vlog channel, and she's back to how she used to be. So I don't know if maybe in that time frame, like life was just too much for her, and or whatever.
I mean, she could have been stressed out.
Exactly. And that's what I was going to say. Like, creators are still living their lives when they're creating content. And if shit is going on in their real life and they have made this their only income or a good bit of their income, to some degree, I feel like as viewers, we kind of need to keep that in check and understand that. And I can say with her, I kind of didn't. I was looking at her as if, you know, she's just this internet personality, and she's not. She's one of the most genuine people on this platform to me. I really do like how genuine she has maintained and how consistent she has maintained throughout her whole YouTube career. And she, you know, she's making bank now. Like, she's making bank, she's getting sponsorships, but she's still, especially in her vlog channel, she is so genuine. Like, I feel like I know who she is, but I can understand that she's got boundaries there to keep herself safe.
Well, I mean, we're people too. I mean,
exactly.
Content creators, love them or hate them. I think what a lot of people, sometimes either the love for the person or the hate of the person makes people forget that they are human too.
Yeah. And I think that might have been what happened with me and that's the only time I've ever had that issue with like a parasocial relationship with a creator. And I've never talked to her or anything like that.
Yeah. No, Smokey's one of those that people either love or hate. Because some people have a tendency to think she's too woke, or some people love the fact that she is woke, you know. So I like her. I've always liked the Smokey Glow. A
lot of her thought processes are very similar to mine. I think a good bit of that is because of our similar education.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, that goes with everybody though, the like or dislike. Like, that goes with everybody. I mean, I know I have people who don't like me. I know I have people who talk crap about me, and I just choose not to give it any attention, because what good does it do for me to drive people to go see what kind of crap they want to say about me next? You know?
Right. Yeah. No, I feel you. I mean, I try to get people to get in fights with me. They just won't do it. I want a YouTube fight. Whoever you are out there, I want a YouTube fight. God bless.
Britt's in here. You can ask Britt if she'll engage in a YouTube fight with you.
All right, Radiant Britt, we're gonna start a YouTube fight.
You guys heard it here. It's all contrived. It's all fake. At least we're honest about it. Right?
Hey, there you go. There you go. I have receipts. No, I'm just kidding. I'm joking. You know, I come with the receipts, though. I'm just saying.
You do, and that's what really makes me enjoy your live streams. Is I'm not a receipt style channel.
Right.
I mean, I have receipts for days. If I opened up my phone, you guys would see nothing but screenshots and screen recordings. But for me, I just struggle so hard to integrate that into my kind of commentary that it's really rare that I will do a video like that. I have done them, and I probably occasionally will continue to do them. But I appreciate the content creators who do show the receipts and who aren't pushing a narrative when they show the receipts, because I see that happening a lot. Is people will show, oh, I have the receipts. Oh, I have the receipts. And it's clipped receipts, or they're only showing half of the conversation or half of the scenario because they're wanting to push their narrative for whoever they're wanting to support. I don't like that. And I don't remember whose channel or what video I was watching, but recently I was watching a video where they were saying our audiences really do just take what we say at face value. You can say, my dogs are in here. Sorry, that scared me. You can say to do your own research and provide links. But most of the time, even me as a viewer, depending on the topic, I'm not going to go research it. Does it mean I hold that creator for everything that they say? No, but most people, and I think general people who aren't creators and don't know how stuff goes on behind the scenes, they're not thinking in the manner that we know other creators are thinking of.
Right.
Does that make sense?
No, it does make sense. And that is specifically why I tell my audience two things. One, now, granted, do I know most of them aren't clicking those links? I know they're not clicking those links, but if I show a video, unless it's an unlisted video that isn't there anymore, and I just got a deleted video like falling in my lap. But if I show them a public video, if I show them tweets, I don't link. But if I see an article and I read part of the article, I give them all the links that I can that's part of that live. Okay. And if they see something different in it, call me out on it. Call me out on it, because I will either fix it, retract it, or put a pinned comment on there to fix it. Because you know this. You've been in there when I said that. I tell my audience, and sorry for the curse word, but all of us YouTubers, we're assholes. We are. We are assholes, but we're different levels. There's different levels. Because think about it. Every single one of us are getting in front of a camera and we want your attention.
Yeah.
Now, some of us have a good way of how we want your attention. We just want a conversation, or we want to let people know the information we got. And then there's some people who will do very shady things to get your attention or to keep your attention. And then you have the really bad people, which this is not part of this conversation, but you know, little kids involved, whatever, not going to say that, but you have those people. But then you have people like who I just want to show you the raccoon that I fed. But it boils down to, we're still getting in front of a camera and we still want your attention.
Right.
You know, there's just different degrees about it. You know, there's different degrees. You know?
And I think that gets lost on people.
Yeah, it does.
I think it does get lost on creators once you hit a certain point. I think it gets lost on them that they are, and that's where I think the dissonance and the change starts to happen when creators grow, is they don't humble themselves. They don't realize that they are just a person in front of the camera. They are no different than all of the 5 to 5 million people watching their channel. They're no different. They have money. I'm sorry. I'm a soul believer, and money doesn't buy you happiness. Can it buy you material things? Can you portray that you're happy? Yeah, a lot of them freaking do. But in my opinion, a lot of them are freaking lonely and miserable. We see that in how they act out and engage in bad behavior.
Oh no, I absolutely 100% agree. And that's why I tell my audience, I try to tell my audience all the time, don't take what I say on that live don't take it as the absolute truth. If you because I'm human. I could actually have read something wrong. I could have looked at it in a different way, you know, because we all know, I mean, if you're on Twitter, you know, one tweet can be read 12 different ways with 12 different emotions.
Is everything.
Exactly. So I could have interpreted one way. And one thing I love about my audience is I have some people in my audience going, well, Xylie, that's not how I took that sentence. Okay, well, how'd you take the sentence? And we'll have the conversation. I'll be like, okay, well, see, now that's an angle. That might be true. I mean, you know, I love having that conversation, but don't take my word as in I am the goddess of commentary and I am solely right. No, I'm not.
But you understand, do you get the aspect of why that belief system is within subscribers innately?
I think so, yes, because I've been the same way.
I think I've been the same way. As subscribers, we just think because, sorry if my backdrop moves, we just think that what they're saying is true because we like them. And also because larger creators really, really don't like criticism. And if you give them criticism, you're a hater, you're a troll, you are lying. I mean, you're called every word in the sun because you don't agree with them. And they refuse to have that self-awareness once they get to a certain point. So subscribers, I think, are even scared at times, like the bandwagoning aspect we talked about earlier. I think even subscribers can get onto bandwagons and end up in an echo chamber because they're afraid to speak out. Thank you, Jean, for the super chat.
I was part of that too.
I think we all have been.
Yeah, I mean, like that one channel that I was talking about that changed once they hit 100,000 subscribers.
Mm-hmm.
I used to think he did good work, and now I'm starting it's funny, but as I research different subjects, I tend to find other stuff that has to do with that commentator, and I'm like finding out, whoa, wait
the
a
rabbit
minute.
holes go so freaking deep.
Holy
you go down one, and then there's no spin behind it. It's so hard to really get to the bottom of stuff.
It really is.
I've been trying to dig, and I have done quite a bit with and I know you don't know a whole lot about it, but the Ashy Cat stuff, and it got to a point where I made my video the other day, like, I have the information, I have everything to do a deep dive. I don't see a good reason to do one. Tomorrow, I'm going to hold a live discussion so people can voice their concern and have a safe place to talk about everything that they want to get off their chest. But as far as doing an actual sit-down video, I don't see a good reason to it. And I am not going to continue to be on a bandwagon because, unfortunately, this person has become a bandwagon topic. And it's super scary because of all of the information that I have dug up and I am aware of that maybe others aren't putting forth that effort in.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just appalling.
Well, some creators, okay, how do I put this? You have people who are going to be stuck because of various reasons. But you have lazy creators, and the lazy creators are the ones who don't do research. I mean, period.
Yeah, I guess I could agree with that.
I mean, the lazy ones will sit there and regurgitate what everybody else said.
I think, and I don't want to offend anybody, but I think there's some creators who do take an easier route, and if you want to call it lazy, I mean, to each their own, where they just go with popular opinion, and there's they don't even allow opposing opinion to be heard because they're afraid of any backlash, or they're afraid of people understanding that they're human and they can think differently, and they don't want that perception of them to be tarnished, so they just go with popular opinion.
Well, and you also have, on the flip side, the person that I used to cover, who I'm not covering anymore. On the flip side, you have people who want to go against the grain so they can be the anti-bandwagon person. Oh, I'm different because, I'm looking at things this way or whatever. And it sounds so ridiculous coming out of their mouth because they don't believe it. You have those people too who are trying to get the haters of that bandwagon. It's ridiculous. The court of public opinion is absolutely dumb, and Twitter is the devil. Just saying. Twitter and YouTube are the devil.
And the unfortunate side is a lot of the stress and ridiculous toying that, and I guess I'll speak for myself rather than anybody as a general, is I find myself being more hard on myself than anything else. I have come to Xylie, I have gone to Britt, I have gone to Sloan before and said, hey, this is an idea. This is what I think. What do you think? And just to get different opinions, to know if I'm overthinking something or if I'm being dramatic about something, just to get a different perspective. Oftentimes, no matter what you guys' feedback are, I make the video anyways, whether you give me a good reason why I shouldn't or not. But you guys also prepare me for if shit goes wrong. You're kind of telling me, hey, I don't think this is a good idea because of X, Y, and Z. And when people come to me for help, I try to offer the same kind of advice. I could see it going wrong here. Be prepared for this because this is where I could see it happening. So I appreciate the few creator friends, if we want to call ourselves friends, that do allow me to have those conversations. And I don't think that subscribers really realize how much we think, if you're being genuine in your content, how much we think about stuff before we actually film it. If you can edit, unlike me, because I can't edit for shit. If you edit it, and then when you publish it, like, so those questions are constantly rolling in your head. And then for like the first day, I choose to not check my YouTube app unless I'm in a good mood or I feel like I could mentally handle whatever BS may be thrown my way. And those are just some boundaries that I've put in place. But I don't think the average viewer, unless you have content, thinks of all of those checks and balances that we go through.
I have to honestly say, after every live stream, because I can't edit either. That's why I do live streams, because I hate editing, which I'm taking this weekend to learn in editing. God help us all. Anyway, the first 24 hours of me dropping a live stream and doing a live stream, I am on the YouTube Studio app like it ain't nothing. I'm on there constantly to see how it did. I'm so addicted to it.
That's not healthy.
I know. I'm
not going to preach to you, but that's so not healthy.
I understand that. I get that. Like I said, I'm a human. Just saying.
No, I get it.
I am so addicted to that app, though. I'm like, oh, wait, how'd it do? Oh, did I get? Oh, look, there's a comment. I mean, I'm just so enthralled with this thing.
Oh my gosh,
it's horrible. I can't help it.
I mean, we all check it, you know, like it's usually when I upload a video that I know is going, like the video I uploaded the other day, I haven't even looked at the comments on that video because I know that they can go either which way. And I'm just letting the comments build up. And then after a day or two, I'll sit down and I'll go through all of my comments.
I live for the hater comments. My favorite hater comment ever was it was on the cryotic update. So it had to do with gamers, right? So I knew I was going to get me some gamer comments on there, right? My favorite hater comment was, who let grandma loose on the PC? They called me a grandma.
Oh, that's funny.
And you know what I did?
Really funny. You probably laughed.
I laughed and I hearted it. I'm like, thank you for watching.
So I'm not going to lie. I have deleted a few comments, especially when I have covered the Ashy Cat stuff, because some people are just disgusting. And I'm not going to have anybody threatening her life or mine or anybody like that. There are certain comments I refuse to allow. But when I have people tell me, my opinion doesn't mean shit or something along those lines, I always heart the comment, because I use the heart as a way for people to know that I read their comment.
Yep.
And then if I have the time and the energy, I will comment back. And on like the hateful, just BS comments, I'll be like, oh, thanks for your engagement, hope you have a great day, thanks for the feedback. It's super petty. I'm aware it's petty, but I'm like, I'm going to let you know that I saw your comment. I read it, and
I appreciate the engagement. I mean, listen, I'll take hater comments all day. I don't care. I like the engagement. Hello, do you not realize you're helping me by doing this? So let me help myself by putting another comment under there going, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
After he called me a grandma. Just saying.
I mean, some comments that they come up with are just hilarious. Some are absolute trash, but other ones, when they're really trying to get a go at you and they're trying to hurt your feelings, I find them funny, because I'm totally comfortable in who I am and what I look like and all of that. I'm totally comfortable in that. So you can call me fat. I don't care. I know I'm overweight, but thanks.
Oh, they're always talking about my age. There was
You're not that old, though.
I know. I am 45 years old.
You don't even look 45. Like, that's the thing. You don't look that old.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much. During that dog pile that I talked about on Twitter, not the commentator that I ended up getting into an argument with, but the commentator that started off the whole thing by retweeting me said I looked like said I was 70 years old.
Yeah, I know what Twitter stuff you're talking
So you know what
about.
I did? I retweeted when he called me 70 years old. I retweeted it and did a bunch of cry laughing faces because I thought that shit was funny. 70, dude, really? Is that where you're going with this? Is that all you have to say about that 70?
I mean, those are just low blows. And that's the thing. Like, that's when people, creators, whoever, are actually trolling. That falls under trolling for me. When you're just trying to get a go at somebody because either your feelings are hurt or you really disagree with them, or you're just trying to seem like you're unbothered and you go out of your way to do stuff like that. A lot of larger creators do this to each other. And it's that's trolling to me. People disagreeing with you is not a troll. Like, I really wish people would stop using this word troll and haters so interchangeably, because it's not as freaking serious as they make it seem.
I love the whole, well, I don't care. Like, with that 70-year-old comment, all it showed me was, I bothered you. You're showing me, by you saying that I'm 70 years old, you are showing me I bothered you. You do know what that means, right? I won. And I didn't even try. That's the sad part. I wasn't trying to win anything. But apparently I affected you so much, I won. Congratulations.
When it comes to larger creators in situations like you had, I really think they almost expect, and I'm just going off of my own assumptions here, I think that they expect smaller creators to kiss their ass because they're hoping that we are clout chasing. And in 100% honesty, from my point of view, I don't give a freak about clout.
Me either.
So if I'm going to treat you like we talked about earlier, I'm going to treat them just like I treat you, just like I treat anyone else. Like, everybody's going to get the same level of respect. Now, if you do me dirty or you lie on me, that's going to be a little bit different. We saw how I handled those kind of situations. Yep. I'm not in high school anymore. And a lot of these larger creators who engage in behavior like that, in my opinion, are immature, and you really need to grow up. Because they start so much fucking drama, excuse my language. They start so much drama because they want the drama to perpetuate, and they want to pick up on smaller channels because we're easy freaking bait, because we don't have the amount of clout that they have to defend us. And it's utterly disgusting.
I'm not that easy bait, because you know what? The same ones who try to start it with me, they're the same ones who turn around and block me. I do not have them blocked. They blocked me. I have less than 1,000 subscribers. Are you really that worried about me that you block me? Are you serious? As much crap as you start with everybody else, you block me. Are you serious?
It's because you didn't blow up their butt. Like, that's what I think they expect smaller, and maybe I'm wrong. I've talked to Sloan before quite a few times, but he doesn't seem to have the same personality that some of these other commentary channels have, where he genuinely just wants to be able to come on his platform and talk about things that he thinks are relevant. These other people view it as a business. And I'm not trying to say that negatively, but they take it so much so as a business that they want to demolish somebody if you don't agree with them or if you don't support them and you're not just agreeing with every little thing that they say. They take it as a hit.
Yep, and they can go ahead and take that hit because they can get over it. That's all I'm going to say on that one. Because like I said before, and I'll say it again, I am never going to drop to my knees and kiss someone's foot just because they have more subscribers than me.
Never. I won't either.
Never.
I mean, we've seen that happen for me anyways. I'll be respectful if anybody ever comes in my chat like that. Clearly, I'm going to be respectful because you're a human and you deserve to voice your opinion. Right. But there's a level of respect. If you're expecting me to respect you, you need to in turn respect me as well. I am still a human. Yep. I still have the credentials for having the same kind of conversations that you're having.
Right.
So why is there no mutual respect? And that's where I think smaller creators are divided from larger creators, is because of this respect. Large creators really don't seem, from my experience, to really respect smaller creators. Some do. I'm not trying to say they all, but the ones who are the noisiest about wanting shit to be fair are the ones who aren't fair to smaller creators.
The ones that are noisiest are the ones who want small creators to kiss their butt, and that's when they'll shout them out. And that's when, and not saying that all the small creators have kissed their butt that they shout out, but they're the same ones who are quick to talk about how smaller channels are only clout chasers and well, you know what? Were you a clout chaser when you first started? Because apparently at one point you first started YouTube with 0 subscribers. So what did you do to come up? Right. What did you do to come up? Because your 100,000, your 40,000, your 50,000, they just didn't show up overnight. Right. So what did you do to come up? You know?
What they're judging other smaller creators for, talking about hot topic issues, going in larger creators' chats, or like trying to network. You can disguise it as networking if you want. Like clout chasing, to me, clout chasing is when it doesn't even have to be a numbers issue for me. Clout chasing is when I feel like you're just trying to garner attention and you're trying to ruffle feathers where you know you're going to get a lot of viewers from whatever. It can be 2 large creators having a disagreement can be a clout chase. Mm-hmm. Like this whole clout chasing and it being reference to smaller platforms in an effort to grow their channel or their followers or their viewership. Does it make you feel good at night that you're calling somebody a clout chaser? Like, that's the question I have. Like, really, does it make you feel good that you're calling someone a clout chaser? Because just because maybe they actually like you and they want to get your opinion on someone.
I laugh at it. But, you know, now I will say this, though. On the flip side, all right, I will say this. The one thing, like, take that argument, for example, on Twitter. The one thing I didn't do is I never told them, oh, don't pick on me. I don't even have 1,000 subs. You know what I'm saying? I didn't use like the reverse psychology of that either.
Yeah.
There are some people who, now, I mean, do I think it's ridiculous that 100,000 sub YouTuber got affected so much by a person who doesn't have 1,000? Oh, yes, absolutely. But there are some people who use that excuse too much. Because we have to remember, oh my God, there's a hair and it's driving me insane. I don't know where it's at. We have to think of this. We have to think this also. Every person that we do a video on, they have the right to say something back. No matter what our size is, they have the right to say something back. So, you know, some people, they try to constantly cover themselves in saying, I'm a small channel. Well, then, but you expect them not to say anything back? Of course they're going to say that. Whether the person's right or wrong, that depends on what they say. But
you've given me that criticism before when I made that.
I wasn't even talking about you either. That's the sad
No,
part.
I know you're not, but I'm just to give the audience who are listening a perspective is when I made my very last BX video, I sent it to a few people because it had receipts and I wanted to make sure that the receipts that were there really were what they needed to be because it was editing that I've never done before. And I sent it to a couple of people, about 4 people, and Xylie was one of them. And I had a bit in there where I acknowledged the fact that he had a larger following than I did. And Xylie did give me the feedback that, you know, we had the conversation she's having with us now. Like, you really can't use that because, you know, you kind of engaged in this drama at this point. You can't really use that as an argument. And that wasn't even my intention when I made the video. And I believe I might have clipped it out or I couldn't have clipped it out at that point. But I understood that argument. And smaller creators do use that as a backbone. I thought it was hilarious when Katie Joy joined in my chat and tried to bully me in my chat. I thought it was funny. But again, I thought she had I told my mods and everybody to respect her and let her talk because I agree with you. She had the right to talk back. Her problem was she didn't give a crap to listen to what I was saying.
Well, yeah. Well,
which I mean, I don't think anybody's surprised there. But you know what I'm saying? So I agree. Like, I think smaller channels try to use that as a sympathy game. Well, they try to say, oh, they have more subs and they have more people coming at them. I mean, everybody knows that. So why even vocally acknowledge it?
Well, see, and that's my whole point, though. So say, like for me, example, right now I'm at 800 something. Okay. What happens when
Subscribe
one
to
day,
Xylie.
yay, what happens when one day I'm at 10,000 and all the way up to whatever I kept saying, you can't say anything back to me because I'm a smaller creator. You can't say anything back to me because I'm a small. So what do I do when I hit double digits in the thousands? You at some point, that excuse is not an excuse anymore. So you have to come up with a different excuse. So don't even start the excuse, because what it boils down to, when I say that they are the same as me, I truly mean that. So if I'm talking crap about them, they have 100% right to say something back. If they get snarky with me, I 100% have the right to say something back. They are no different than I am. The only difference between me and them is they probably have more expensive a setup than I do, and they have more subscribers. That's it. They're still a person like I am. They bleed like I am. They live life like I do. Right. You know, I'm not. That's the one excuse I don't want to use, because I don't want it as a crutch.
Yeah, and I think I acknowledged when we had that conversation, I had never really viewed it that way.
Right.
But that's when one of those things, when hindsight is 20/20, because once you voiced that, I was like, damn, she's totally right. Why? This offers absolutely nothing to the argument. Why even include it? And if anything, it could be used against me. Maybe currently or in the future, it could be used against me. Like, oh, like I said, she's trying to gain sympathy because I have a larger platform, you know? So it goes both ways. And I think,
yeah, but if they use that against you, here's the good thing about it. You weren't on Twitter constantly tweeting about it. Okay. You didn't constantly talk about it. You mentioned it once. Mentioning it once and then constantly trying to garner sympathy from people because of it are two different things. So no, that person wouldn't have they wouldn't have a leg to stand on.
Yeah, in that particular situation, but I definitely agree. So I guess I've pretty much been trying to keep up with the chat. I don't know if you've been, but I guess we've talked so much about different terms and situations on YouTube that if you guys have any questions that I've missed or that you want to ask either one of us or jointly together, we'll leave it open for a couple of minutes for people to leave questions. And then if you don't have anything else to say, I'd say now's a good time to start wrapping it up.
Well, I appreciate you having me on. This was fun. We should do this more often.
We should. I think it's good.
Nobody ever wants to. I'm gonna tell you what. If we were ever in a voice chat together, it would be hours and hours of talking. I'm telling you.
Clearly, I mean, I think when YouTubers have collaborations like this, it shows who we are to our audiences. Like, yeah, we can sit here and do it with just us and the camera talking to our chat, but when they see you in real time, Xylie and I have never talked before this.
No.
We've DM'd, but we have never actually talked. We talked for maybe 5 to 10 minutes while I was setting everything up and we were late. But prior to that, we've never had a conversation. So I think it helps people to understand how we actually are when we talk to other people. It gives people that ability. And it also, we've provided different perspectives of so many situations that we have both individually and collectively experienced, that I think it does help subscribers and people who are just viewers of YouTube to kind of know some of the struggles and see things from our perspectives with two creators here openly talking about it. I really wish larger creators would engage in this kind of content, because I think I think some of that hardness that we have towards larger creators and the uppityness would probably fade away.
Probably because you would see more of a human side of them.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
But I'm totally open to doing more of this style of content. There's been
I like this. This was fun.
I think it would be good to integrate some of this into some of my regular content, if you'd be open to like maybe monthly or something like that, or bi-weekly, whatever we can work out.
Yeah. I don't have a job anymore, so I have no life, so we're good.
Well, you're working on your own business just like I am.
Well, I'm trying to. If I can get the sleep schedule right so I can do that, because unfortunately my husband has to go to bed early, so I can't work on it at night. So
it took me, I think I told you this the other day, it took me about a week to after about a month of no sleeping pattern when I quit my job, it took me a week to get down the sleeping schedule, and it's gotten to the point where I have to take melatonin and go to bed. Otherwise, I would be in the same issue that you are, where
I'm trying. It's the sad thing is they're 12 milligrams and they're not working. Well, I'm only taking one, so I'm gonna up it up to 2.
I will tell you, I started on the gummies, and then that's when I was really struggling. It took me like 4 days to get used to taking melatonin, and then I tried the pills like you have, and those did not work. But the Xylie gummies and the 5 milligram, you take 2 of them, and I lay down, and within an hour, if I'm just like scrolling through my phone or just listening to the TV, I will pass out. Like, I don't even know I'm going to sleep. I'll just pass out. So maybe that'll help.
Maybe I need to try the gummies then. I don't know. All I know is I need some sleep, and I need some sleep and some regular. I don't care. I just need some sleep. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
You don't want to know what happened today. I'm just, yeah.
Oh.
Today was bad. I'm dying right now. Let's put it that way.
You didn't sleep, did you?
Well, I slept for a couple of hours, woke up at 3 because woke up at 2:30 because my blood sugar went low, and I guess it woke me up. Went and ate something, and then I didn't get back to sleep until like about 8 or 9.
Yeah,
I'm trying, ma'am. I'm trying.
I know. Okay? I went through it. I definitely know what you're experiencing.
I'm trying.
But that's my advice. I appreciate you for being on here. If anybody catches this in the replay and you happen to make it through the whole thing, Xylie is linked down below. So be sure you're subscribed to her. We want to help to get her to 1,000. That way she can start monetizing her hard work that she puts into her channel.
And I can have a community tab. The community tab is what I want.
But it's been a really good conversation. I appreciate it. I think it was a pretty healthy discussion. I'm sorry for anybody in the chat if you guys had left any questions that I didn't see. Feel free to leave them in the comment section, and I will answer them. And if it's directed towards Xylie, I will let her know so she can come over and answer it. But I appreciate everybody. I hope you guys all have a good rest of your day, evening, or night, wherever you are. Until next time.